CVA's Accura Series, Bergara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
All right, guys, let's go over and do this week's Pictures of the Week. This week's Pictures of the Week being brought to you by Flowers Garden Center. They're at 4550 Eaton's Creek Road in Nashville, Tennessee. Stop in there and let them take care of all your gardening and planting needs. And be sure to tell the Flowers family thank you for all they do for us here at the show. All right, our first picture here, we got a beautiful fish here off of Dale Hollow Lake. This is Bill Jones, and Bill actually got a trip through us, I believe it was, with our buddy Bobby Gentry, and he and his wife Beth went out and they had a great trip. This was just maybe about a week ago, so just so y'all know, they're biting up there at Dale Hollow. Great fish there, Bill. But wait a minute, hold on.
You go, Beth.
Look here, this is Beth Jones, and that is a big smallmouth right there, guys. That was her personal best. I'll be honest, I don't remember the weight. They had it on a post the other day, and I don't remember what it's, and I don't want to say it wrong. Beth, you can let us know that if you guys are watching tonight. But congratulations on a fantastic fish. Now. They tell me those Blair boys don't ever quit fishing, no matter what's going on. But this is Deacon Blair, and he was fishing during, whose wedding is this now?
Little James, Jimbo's boy, and Taylor.
So this is Deacon's cousin's wedding, but he had to take a break in the middle of it and go catch a bass. So that's all right. That's just how the Blairs do it, isn't it? Well, you guys, y'all can send your pictures to us here at 474 James Robertson Parkway, or get them to me on Facebook or at the email there on the screen, and we'll share them here on the show just as soon as we can. All right, guys, welcome back. I have been joined tonight again by Mr. Jay Fish, and we have been talking about the king buck so far tonight and the story behind it. Just an incredible deer sitting here in front of us. It's really, I hope a lot of y'all can get down here this weekend to the expo to be able to check these things out in real life, because I promise you, you wouldn't believe what they really look like in real life. So when we left, he had shot this buck. His cousin actually pulls the antlers off of it. Buck goes down, so and the rule was you could take and place that antler back on. So you were able to do that, and it went on, and it was able to be scored. So that wasn't where the issue that was run into, and we'll get into it more later on. But I guess just in description, what is the argument on whether or not this buck is typical? And later on, now guys, we're going to do some up closes for you too.
Yeah, just at a quick overview of that shorter tine, which would be the G3, they said their first argument said it grew off of the G2, which would make it a branch point, which is non-typical. Well, that was able to be discredited within a matter of 20 seconds by the rule book, which we did. So then they changed the next rule. It said it grew to the inside edge of the main beam. So it was non-typical. Well, we were able to discredit that. The inside edge rule is for, if you got a main beam comes like this, if you got a point and one grows to the inside, one's to the outside, it's offset, so the inside one's automatically non-typical.
Correct.
The other way that's applied is if you have a point that grows at more than a 30-degree angle to the inside of the antlers, which again, that deer does not do. After 6 years of accountability and holding people accountable, Boone and Crockett invented a new rule and said if it doesn't fill to the outside edge of the main beam, if there's what they call a shelf, it's non-typical. That was never in play before. It was never a rule before. It was never passed by the rules committee. It showed up on page 742 of not the scorer's manual, but a record book, which isn't for scoring. And so the big ended up in court and everything over that, and I am not allowed to say what happened there, but many people always ask me, why'd you take on Boone and Crockett? I said, I didn't take on anybody, I held them accountable.
Right.
And me and a lot of other people. It wasn't just me, I had a lot of help from around the country. I still get Boone and Crockett scores to this day sending me messages saying, I'm just picking up on this king buck thing, and they purposely put that rule in to hold back. And I said, I'm not allowed to say much, but I appreciate your honesty, you know. And too many hurt feelings with it. Now, you come down to the expo, it's going to be a fun time with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I encourage people to pick it up and hold it. And
Yeah.
I like your set here. I like like a little camp feel.
Yeah.
We're just sitting here as friends talking, enjoying a great set of antlers.
Yeah.
And if people want to know some of the controversy, by all means, I'll let them know because I don't hold back. But that isn't my main goal. My main goal now is to put the smiles.
And we just want people to see this.
Yes.
I mean, this is inches. I don't care how you want to look at it. Inches wise, that's the biggest deer.
There's nothing close.
That's the biggest typical buck there is.
You know, people, biggest deer shot in Canadian soil, biggest deer shot on U.S. You know what? This is just the biggest deer
That's
on
the
any
biggest
soil.
one. Period.
There's nothing.
There's not.
No.
Now, while we're sitting here, because we're going to move here in just a little bit, let's look at a couple of these other bucks. So down here in front of you, let's start with him.
This is your favorite.
This is my favorite one. It really is. And this is a world record right here.
Yeah.
Legitimate. And that is the biggest 6-pointer. Yeah, there you go. Just look at that, guys. Look at my arm.
What was it?
Compared to the
150
length
what?
of that vein.
It gross is 158, and that's 154, and I believe 4/8. You don't really get the length of these tines because they lean forward. But if you go and show from the side, it's got like the world's deepest crab claw you ever want to see.
Unbelievable. And where is this deer out of?
This was just, it's the Bert Eichstedt buck. It was shot just north of Milwaukee, and this is a bow kill.
And
just
how much
a giant.
you told me earlier how much it weighed, and I forgot now.
Bert told me it was over 300, like around 350 pounds. This deer was just a giant.
And that happens up there. You know, around here we're like, what? But I mean, 350 pounds up there happens.
And we talked earlier about different breeds of deer as far as it goes around. And we'll get to that later probably.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's we talk about it a lot, but it's just where genetics and nutrition and cover and food and water and every single ingredient that it takes all come together, and this is what happens. Things like this happen. But this 6-pointer is a prime example of that deer could have lived to been 20 years old, and he wasn't ever going to be the king buck.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You're exactly
that's what
right.
he was going to be. That's him.
Yeah.
Now that is, to me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to have this, but my point is that is right there is the trophy of a lifetime. It's a 6-pointer.
Right.
It's an incredible deer. I mean,
I did a show in Kansas, and most people approached me about this deer than any deer in my collection.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm always after. That's what I'm after. I mean, a deer, let's face it, a deer is a deer. They can only get so big before they start throwing non-typical stuff. And world records are so important. It's like, you know, we can talk genetics, we can talk age, we can talk feed all you want, but let's say it's that deer's year to shine, and all of a sudden he's ready to grow, man. And all of a sudden some coyotes chase him across the field in June when he's in growing time, and his body overheats.
He's stressed.
He stresses out, man. He that could lose inches, and that's a world record gone.
It can.
Yeah, he could bump a limb and knock a point. It's gone.
A fence crossing, so many things can happen.
And once they grow that way, somebody still got to get them.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part.
And they're not young, you know, by any means, so they're not stupid either.
No, they're nocturnal.
This buck was probably, he knew what was going on, and he was slipping in behind, and they were already there, is what happened. They were just there before he thought they'd be there. But I would say, had he been just a few seconds, you know, a few minutes or whatever later, that deer went through there and they'd have never known it. As soon as those drivers started, that would have been the end of that.
Oh, it would have been all over.
So, but just, and that being an archery kill just makes it
that's crazy.
You know, that's just, it's unreal. Now, I've got some over here I'm going to pick up, if I can pick them up from a sitting position here.
I may have to have you sign a waiver.
So
you
these
don't
are my
hurt
new
yourself.
rattling antlers, guys. Oh, this is
Wilson
these
County
are
Rattlers.
The Buckmaster Wilson County Rattler Masters. But no, let's talk about these now. What is special about these sheds that I'm holding here?
Well, this shed right here was panel scored at the Iowa Deer Classic 2 years ago. It's the world's largest 5-point shed. Scores 99 6/8 inches. It was found in Indiana by a young lady, and the lady ended up killing a deer the next year. But this is its match, and this is, I believe, the 6th largest 5-point. And then together, they're just as big as you're ever going to see. Again, I'll have to
estimated 30-inch spread, is that what you said?
Yeah, estimated around 30 inches, which would have put this deer netting in the 210 area. Now, that's a 5-point. It's a 10-pointer.
Yeah.
And to make it even more incredible is these G4s are just over 4 inches long. If you take them off, it's a 202.5-inch 8-pointer. The world's biggest 8-pointer we know of right now is 182.
Yeah,
This beats it by 20 inches.
To describe these right here,
yeah,
man.
I mean, it's
the
just
G2s,
unbelievable.
they're unbelievable. They are.
And then if you look at this, they call these a bird point or a acorn.
Yeah, like
I
acorn
call
point.
this a bird's head because it's got a little eyeball right there. Right in it.
You got a
see
little
it.
drop tine action here. Not
Yeah.
drop tine, but you know.
Main beam drop.
Main
yeah.
beam drop.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to get ready right now and do this week's product of the week, and then here in a few minutes we're going to move over here and get y'all some more up close stuff. But right now, let's do this week's product of the week. This week's product of the week is being brought to you by our friends at Caney Fork Outdoors. Y'all can find them at cfoutdoors.com or get off I-40 at the Center Hill Dam exit there and go to the bottom of the hill and make a right. They'll be right there at the Big Rock Market, and they can take care of all your kayaking needs and get you out there on the beautiful Caney Fork River. All right, I got to share a little secret with you guys tonight here now. I'm letting them in on one of Dayton's little secrets
little
here.
fish fry
This is
material.
Nona Bells here. Now this is just a pre-mixed fish fry. It's cornmeal based. This is the spicy variety. They have two varieties. But this right here, I'll be honest, is probably the best store-bought fish
Yes,
fry I've
yes.
ever put on fish before. I've eaten crappie with it, speckled trout, several different things already. But now, Dayton, where can they get these things
You can
at?
get that at the Louisiana Seafood Store in Mount Juliet at 1200 South Mount Juliet Road, or you can give them a call at 754-5400.
And-
Ask for Fred or Kurt, and they'll hook you up, or just go in the store. They got all that and a lot more product that I think
They
they'll
do,
really
they have
enjoy.
all kinds of things.
There's fresh oysters and a lot of stuff going
They
on.
do. Well, guys, we're going to get ready to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.